he is having total 4 years of experience in Java, Spring Boot, and microservices. And guys, those who want to give same free mock interview, please fill out the form below in the description. So now let's get started. Hey, hello Vibhor, how are you?
Hello, sir. How are you? I'm good.
Yes, I'm also good. Shall we start?
Sure, sir. I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, so can you please introduce yourself and your recent project in brief?
So, myself, Vibhor Mishra. I completed my graduation in 2022. Since then, I'm working with Metadesign Software Services.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I worked with a project called DNS. That's IoT device management, a SaaS application,
Mm-hmm.
on which is actually a Java-based microservices application. I worked on microservices like device and user onboarding. It's completely the stack depends on Java, Spring Boot, React.js, and all our deployments are on AWS. I mostly work on the backend part using Java and Spring.
Okay, okay, cool. So since you are working mostly from Spring Boot side, I have a question for you. Let's say your Spring Boot application fails to start with a bean currently in creation exception. What might be the cause or what might be the issue?
Mostly, I haven't ever seen such kind of exception, but as
Mm-hmm.
per my understanding, I suggest that it might be due to the lazy initialization of the bin.
Okay. Okay, so you are telling the solution. We can fix this issue by using lazy annotation. That's a solution that you are telling. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So just tell me I just want to know the cause of this issue.
So,
Okay, so let me
sorry
tell
about
you,
that.
you
No
must have
problem.
heard about circular dependencies, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
when there is,
Spring depends on Spring Boot.
yep. When there
Then,
is issues in circular dependencies, we usually see this being currently in creation exception. And as you already told us, we can fix this by lazy annotation as well as constructor injection, right?
yeah.
Okay. And what is lazy initialization exception error?
Lazy initialization exception error generally occurs when uh, sorry.
Okay. So it means a lazy loaded JP entities was accessed outside an open transaction. Okay, so
Yeah,
in order to fix this, we could use a transactional annotation, right? We could use
since
fetch
the
join.
session is closed, so we
Hmm.
cannot access the child entities after the session is closed.
Correct. Okay.
Mm.
Tell me what happens when you declare two beans of the same type without any qualifier.
So declaration will give, we can have beans of same type without any
Mhm.
click, but we'll have to give at the primary so
We are
that
not
the
giving at the
spring
rate
goes.
primary and also we are not giving at the rate qualifier annotation. Then what would happen?
It will give exception so that
Exception.
the spring cannot have the bean of same type, like multiple beans of the same type.
Mhm. Yep. That's correct.
Mm.
Spring throws no unique bean definition exception in such cases
Yeah.
unless marked with primary annotation or injected using qualifier annotation.
Call. Yeah.
Yes. So can you tell me what type of beans we have? Scope beans.
We have multiple scopes like singleton, prototype,
Mm-hmm.
application.
Mm-hmm.
We have session
Okay.
and request also.
And what's the default one that Spring Boot uses?
Default is singleton, which makes sure that only one instance is there for the whole application lifecycle.
Okay. Tell me the case where you want to use prototype scope bean but not singleton bean.
For such cases, when we want the object creation on conditionally, like on particular requests,
Mm-hmm.
so we don't want the object data to be shared across the whole application context.
Okay.
So in such cases, mostly we use.
Correct. Okay, moving ahead. Let's say you have created a REST controller advice annotation, right? But your global exception is not getting caught. I'm interested to know the reasons. What might be the issues?
So mostly controller advice we use to handle the global exceptions occurring in the Spring Boot
Mm-hmm.
applications. And if it's not catching our exceptions,
Mm-hmm.
so this might be due to in exception handler we missed those dot exception to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So in exception handler we can handle different type of exceptions, and when such exceptions occur in our application, then those exception handlers are triggered, and they are responsible to send the response back to the client.
Yep. Okay, that's correct. Hey guys, before moving to the next question, I want to share something important with you. Actually, we both prepared from our interview preparation kit and cracked multiple interviews. We have also referred him to the multiple companies. So guys, let me tell you, this interview preparation kit has four main parts. First is complete interview preparation material. It is a step-by-step material made by me, expert and MNC's interviewers. 99% of the questions asked in interviews are covered in it. Second is two real enterprise client projects, code and video recorded sessions are there, and you can add this in your resume. Okay. Third is lifetime chat support. Here you can ask your doubts anytime. Fourth is referral support. Here we help you to get referred to the top MNCs. So basically, the material is organized as per your experience level and covers Java, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA, microservices, Kafka, Maven, Git, coding questions, TBAP coding questions, and many more. Okay. You can buy just the complete interview preparation material or the full kit with project supports and referrals. I have added the links in the description below. So now moving to our interview. And guys, before moving to our interview, since we have Vibor, so we can ask for a feedback. So Vibor, can you please share some feedback?
Yeah, so I have been preparing my interview from those notes only. It's helping me a lot, clearing my core concepts and helping me meeting interviews also, and giving me confidence to answer in the interviews.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool. Thank you. Moving ahead. Okay, so let's say you have added a custom configuration class. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's not being picked up by Spring Boot. I just want to know the issues behind this.
So if you put a uh, custom configuration class, which is basically meant to provide beans, the custom beans or bean definitions. So main reason can be within the class we don't have a method at the rate bean annotations, and they are not actually passing an object or returning an object of type object that should be processed as a bean.
Mm-hmm.
Second issue I can think of is the class itself is not annotated with at that configuration annotation.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
these two I think.
And maybe class is outside the main Spring Boot application scan base
Yeah,
package.
yeah, that can also. It's outside the
Correct.
package.
Okay. So I just want to know, did you face N+1 query problem in your career? And if yes, then how did you tackle that?
Yeah, it happened with us. So mostly when it happens when we have a parent entity and it has a class child entities, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if we have a parent entity, let's say a user, and it has its orders as a child entity. So when we query a parent, the child along with it is also queried. For example, if the parent has n number of orders, so it will be n the number of orders plus one the parents itself. That's called the n+1 query problem. We have faced that. It causes a lot of work on the database. It makes the application slow. To fix this, what we can use DTO projections first of all. Apart from that, we can use entity graph, and also we can use joint page also with the entity.
Yep, that is 100% correct. What's the difference between entity graph and join fetch?
Joint fetch is basically applied directly to the entity. I'm quite
Mm-hmm.
confused here. Entity graph is written over the query, the JP query.
Okay, cool.
Little confused.
Um, Tell me, how would you ensure sensitive data like passwords is not persisted accidentally with JP?
So, sorry, I didn't get that question. Not
Okay,
persisted.
let's say you are working, persisted means saving into the
Okay,
database, sensitive data.
okay. Got it.
Mm,
So, what we can do, so mostly we don't directly store sensitive data in our database. We usually use encoders.
mm-hmm,
So, for example, in Spring Boot, we have a password encoder class. So, it is used by authentication manager, etc., to
mm-hmm.
decrypt or decrypt passwords and all. So, we usually store the password as an in encrypted form, which is just one-way encryption. We cannot uh, get the password back from the encryption. So that way we can secure the data.
Yep. And also we could exclude listeners using transient fields. Marks feel like transient annotation, right?
Yeah, that is not serializable.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Hmm.
Okay, so did you get a chance to use transactional annotation?
Yeah, I have worked with that. So
Tell me how it
basically,
works behind the scenes.
so transaction annotation basically uses proxy-based approach. So I mean, the beans we use in our application are basically covered, or we can say uh, wrapped around the proxies. So when we call the actual method, there is proxy working behind that. So the proxy takes care of the transaction creation of the transaction, doing the rollouts, and committing the data or making the rollouts, etc.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that is correct. Have you used flush method inside a transaction?
Uh, yes, I think flush is basically used to move the data in persistent context to the actual database. So after flush, it runs the actual SQL query to store the data into
Mm-hmm.
the database. So it moves data from persistent context to the actual database.
Mm. Okay. So let's say you are asked to do bulk update of 10,000 records efficiently by using Spring Data JP without loading them into the memory. How would you do
Okay.
that?
Uh, First of all, we should enable the Hibernate. We have in Hibernate that is called
Mm-hmm.
batching in Hibernate. There is one sorry, in properties.xml we can put Hibernate.batch size, so it will make sure that the insertion happens in batch instead of doing multiple round trips to the database.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, even if we do the batch there, but still if you load the whole, like for consider itself 10,000 1 lakh entries into the persistent context. Even persistent context is also a type of memory. So we cannot put all the data into that memory. So instead of that, what we can do, we can traverse over the data and do the flush and clear. So first we persist the data, then do we flush, then do we clear. So in that way also we don't overwhelm the persistent context. So our application don't get slow due to, or it won't give the memory exceptions to us also.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. That's correct. How would you ensure backward compatibility of the APIs when multiple clients are involved?
Okay, so this comes to us when we do the versioning also.
Mm,
So we basically use the URL based versioning. So we have V1 and then we have V2 also.
mm,
So to ensure backward compatibility, what we did was, so for an instance of time, we put both of them alive and working on the server. And then gradually we requested in our headers of the old APIs for the clients to shift to the new APIs, like newer version of the application.
mm,
And we tried. So to make sure the application is backward compatible on the application level, we supports both kind of data for the from the old APIs also and the new APIs also. Even the databases were built to support both kind of data without giving an exception. And once all the clients or all the traffic is diverted to the new APIs, so we gradually remove the dependency of the old API structure.
okay, cool. Can you explain the saga pattern and also tell me when you would prefer it over two PC in microservices?
Saga pattern is basically used when we have transaction distributed across microservices.
Mm-hmm.
So 2PC, sorry, I'm not much
Okay.
uh,
Yeah,
better
it's fine. So
in.
Saga pattern, as you already told, it's a series of local transactions plus compensating action, right? We should prefer over 2PC due to loose coupling, async support, and better fault tolerance in Saga pattern, right? Okay, let's say you have a three microservices in a chain and one is slow. How do you isolate which one and fix it? Like how would you identify which one is slower and fix it?
Okay. So we have three microservices in chain.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say A calls B and B calls C, and the response is written in in the same chain once. So to identify, let's say, to identify which microservices is working slow.
Yep. Let me tell you an example. Let's say we are just calling one API and that's hitting our
Mm,
microservices A. And microservices
mm,
A is calling B. And microservice B is calling C. And then microservice is fetching some data and returning in a
mm.
chain format. But we have observed, like in our API, top in the top level in our API, we are
Yeah.
seeing some slowness in the API. There are some latencies, but we don't know no, due to which microservices the response is getting slower. So if someone asks you to give, I mean, to find the root cause and also how would you do
Yeah.
that?
Uh, First of all, we can use on application level basically.
Mm-hmm.
What we can use is we can use AOPs. Like
Mm-hmm.
there is we have around AOP which
Mm-hmm.
starts or which actually helps to calculate the time a function takes to actually execute and get the result back. So this way we will get to know which function basically is causing the delay API. Apart
Mm-hmm.
from that, the delay can also be coming from the database queries also.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do, we can put a profiling across the services. We can put profiling with to service B and to service C also. We can calculate the time and we can easily, get how much time each of the services taking to actually process the response and sends it back to the calling service.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, and also we could use distributed tracing, right? Fixed via
Yeah,
deep
the trace
index
IDs.
optimization. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving ahead. In a auth 2 secured microservice, the token expired during a long async process. So how would you handle it?
The token expires within the song. So the request has come to us, we are processing it, and the
Mm-hmm.
process is going asynchronously.
Mm-hmm.
And the token expires in between of that asynchronous processing.
Correct.
So since the request has reached to our server and we started processing of the request, so we should not give an unauthorized access to the user. It will be it will be a bad user experience to the end user. So what we
Mm-hmm.
can do, we can let the current request process. We can send the response back to the end user, and
Mm-hmm.
whenever there is a next call made to us, since the token is already expired, so he will get another access and he will need to log in again or something like that. So we can handle it in such way as per my understanding.
Okay, and we could also use refresh tokens re-authentication system. We can check
Yeah,
the token validity before action. Like we'll be able to cover all our operations like just before action. Okay.
okay. Yeah,
Mm.
request tokens.
Okay. Do you know the concept of a rate limiting mechanism?
Yeah,
Why do
I
we
have been.
use rate limiting?
Uh, so mostly rate limiting is done just to secure our backend application, our
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure from getting spam calls. Let's say if
Mm-hmm.
someone just do a bot calls on our application, and
Mm-hmm.
that bot calls can raise the usage of our application, and the genuine users which want to use our application may face low latency, etc., etc. To
Okay.
save our application from that, we do rate limiting.
Okay. Someone asks you to implement a thread safe LRU cache, right? So how would you do that?
Let's say Federic cache. So to make it thread safe, we can use the collections, which are actually thread safe in multi-threaded environments. For
Which
example, mostly the caches are used, or we store these in hash maps, basically. So we can use concurrent hash map, which is actually a very good uh, thread safe data structure. So yeah, we can implement using that.
Yep, that is partially correct. Our first thing is
Okay.
base thing is linked hash map. We have to use linked hash map with access order and override remove LDEST entry method and wrap it in concurrent hash map with custom logic.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Why linked hash map is used in LRU? Because it maintains insertion or access order. It's enable easy
Order.
removal of the least recently used item. Okay. Can you tell me what issues can arise if a class is immutable but contains a mutable object?
Yeah, so for example, if class is immutable and contains a mutable object, let's say of a date, time object or something. So when we get we have an object of the class, and that within the class we can get the object of that mutable class also. So once we
Mm-hmm.
get the object is actually reference to the object. It's not the value of the object, it's the reference of the object. So if we make any changes to the reference object, so it will actually reflect in the immutable class object. So which will break the law of immutability.
Correct. And
So
what's the solution?
to save this, what we can do when we store the object into to the when we set the object to the immutable class, what we can do instead of saving the actual object, we can clone the object and save it. And while retrieving also, when we retrieve the object, instead of giving the real object back to the calling method or application, so we can give a clone of that object.
Mm-hmm.
So cloning helps here so that the changes are done on the clone object, not on the actual object inside the immutable class.
Okay. Okay, so can you tell me the difference between wait, sleep, and join method in a multi-threading environment?
So what wait does is, for example, the current thread calls wait.
Mm-hmm.
That thread goes in a waiting state
Okay.
on that object and
Mm-hmm.
waits until another thread calls notify or notify all, so that it
Mm-hmm.
gets in continuation state. Second, what was the second thing? Sorry, wait.
Wait and one second. Wait and
S-
sleep and join.
Sleep is basically sleep makes the thread in waiting state indefinitely. For example, we can put sleep and put a timer inside the put time inside the. We want to make the thread sleep for this time period. After the
Mm-hmm.
time period executes, it regains the runnable state
Mm-hmm.
itself. So we don't have to manually do anything. And third was join method. What join method does is if we start a thread like t1.start and we
Mm-hmm.
want that the thread executes
Mm-hmm.
only. I mean the thread execution first happens and then only we should do something after thread
Mm-hmm.
execution. So what we can do, we can use t1.join. T1.join makes sure that the thread first executes, then only the program will go on.
Correct. Okay, so tell me you override equals method but forget hash code method. What kind of production bug can arise?
So basically, we override the equals method, but don't. So there is a contract between equals and hash code when we use it in a hash map, basically. So if two equal methods giving if two objects having equality when we compare it with equal methods,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but they are not having the same hash map, the hash code output, then it will give you a bug in our application.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we have an object of user name is let's say Vibhor, and it has an ID of 1. So we create two objects with the same name and same ID. So we do equals on ID and the name, but we do hash on something else.
Mm-hmm.
So technically these are the same objects, but when you put into hash map, since the hash code is different for both of them, they will go to two separate buckets. And
Mm-hmm.
even when we want to get, so every time we do a push and get, it will be what we can say. I'm not getting a proper word for it. But the way I said that,
So
given it is the
basically,
same object, it will go
mm-hmm.
to two different buckets instead of going to the same bucket.
Mm. Let's take an example of set. So set dot contains may fail unexpectedly, leading to duplicates or incorrect values
Yeah,
due to inconsistency between equals and hash code, right?
yeah.
Okay, so can you please tell me what are the consequences of using non-final fields in a class used as a key in a hash map?
Non-partial process. Okay. So for example, we have the example I just gave right now. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
we have the key on the basis of name and ID field. So if we use a non-final field for that, and we store that object, for now it's Vibor and ID is when we store that in the hash map. And since it's a non-final, it may get changed later on. Like anyone can come and change the value. And
Hmm.
later on, when we try to get the object from the hash map, since the key has changed, we won't be able to fetch the object.
Hmm.
So this will give a potential bug in our application.
Correct. Okay, so how would you write a JUnit test case when method is private and there is no setter and public constructor?
That is private and that is not certain public constructor. Sorry,
Okay.
no.
We can use reflections to instantiate and access private fields and methods. This is the first thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can also refactor to use package private constructor or inject via factory method. That's the second thing.
Okay.
And we can also use tools like PowerMock if absolutely needed.
Got it.
All right. Okay. Have you worked with Docker and Kubernetes? Do you have experience?
Not actually. Basically, our complete infrastructure was AW based. So we
Mm-hmm.
used Elastic Container Services and all, which manages this all internally.
Okay.
So never get a chance to
Yep. Okay, so tell me, what's the difference between provided and compiled scope in Maven?
provide.
Yeah, so are you working with Maven or Gradle?
It's a Maven repositories.
Maven. What's the difference
Completely
between
Maven.
Maven clean and Maven install?
Maven clean is basically cleans the previously built projects.
Mm-hmm.
So it just cleans those files and artifacts, whatever was created over here.
Mm-hmm.
What install does is install packages them all together, like making a new build. But
Mm-hmm.
along with the installation, it runs the test cases also. And we usually do Maven clean and install all together so that we just clean the old work and create the new build,
Mm-hmm.
new jar file.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's say your pipeline. So have you worked with pipeline, CI/CD pipeline?
Yeah, CSV pipeline. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the stages there in your pipeline?
So it's just build, test, and deploy.
Okay, got it. Um, let's say your system went down at 3 a.m. due to a DB overload. So, in
Mhm.
your team, what's the plan to recover or to work on these type of issues?
So the system goes down due to DB overload at
Mm-hmm.
3 a.m. and midnight. So first thing will be, uh, so we have alarms, CloudWatch alarm set for that.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, we will get the emails for the DB overload, the system is
Okay.
down, etc. So after that, we start analyzing. Like for example, the DB was load for service A. So we analyzing in DB logs, like why it is going, like if like why it is happening. There are more requests than if
Mm-hmm.
the DB connection pool has exceeded.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was the root cause? We do root cause analysis properly first of all. Like what was the use case,
Okay, got
and
it.
we yeah.
Okay. Now, Vibhor, I'm just going to ask a few coding questions. Can you please share your screen and open any editor, whether it's a local or online?
Okay.
Yep.
Um,
Okay. So the question is, you are given a number n, okay, and n minus one elements. Okay. And let's take an example of n is equal to 6.
Okay.
Okay. And
So six.
there would be five elements then, right? And elements should be must be unique. Okay. That's the
Okay.
first thing. And elements should be there from 1 to n minus 1. Sorry, 1 to n. For example, if n is equal to 6, then element can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now there is one number missing in that n minus 1 array element.
Hmm.
So you have to find that missing number.
Okay. I got it. So it will have, it may have one, two, three, four, five, six.
Let's say
Since it's
1, 2, 3,
six is
4,
missing, is it?
5. Yes, yes,
So we have to find the missing value.
correct. In the best way.
Hmm.
Okay. So what you are trying to do?
So basically, I created a default array filled
Mhm.
with -1 of size 6. So it will have -1 of 6. So that will be the default value of it. I'm
Okay.
traversing over the second array.
And you are putting
So,
0
so
except
the
the 6, right?
one that is missing, yeah,
Okay.
just then checking if any of the uh,
Hmm.
any of the element in the defaults is having the default value means that is not occurred into the ARR array. So
Okay.
that's our answer.
Yeah, yeah. Please do it. And this is also one of the way, but this is not the best way to do this. Yeah, yeah. Please do it
Okay.
first. Then we'll discuss other approach.
Sure.
System, I think spelling mistake of system.
Oh,
Okay, so let me tell you another approach. Let's hold on. Let's not do this. I just got your point. You are just
yeah.
putting everything -1, and then in the next iteration you are just putting 0, except the missing number,
Yeah.
and then you are putting whether if the element is -1, it means that number is missing. Okay, there is another way to do that by summing up. Let's say a sum of the array 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, right? And
Ah,
you have to find, and we can also find the sum of natural number. For example, if n is equal to 6, we can count the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus
um,
6, then subtract the sum of natural number minus this sum of array, then we will find the uh, missing
missing
element.
number from the.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So yeah.